Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome back to Nerdrotic Daily. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com, and this is your daily dose of low-tier content from yours truly. And today we're going to talk about why I'm not talking about Disney Star Wars. Now, Jeremy made a video on this very subject a couple of days ago. I recommend you watch it. It's very good. We did discuss it on Friday Night Tights, and I thought I'd put in my 2 cents. Now, back in December of 2020, the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian aired with the triumphant return of digital Luke Skywalker kidnapping Baby Yoda and not helping anybody else. And that was a very brief moment where the majority of the Disney Star Wars fandom, not everybody, was united in joy. Some people were moved to tears, and Disney Star Wars decided to squander that opportunity almost immediately by firing Gina Carano, following that up with hiring a couple of racists for their website, I believe, or their YouTube channel, and having Lucasfilm employees back up an article attacking individuals who criticized Star Wars and trying to conflate us with the alt-right, and that we were part of a conspiracy that started with Rush Limbaugh and led to Steve Bannon. Yes, that's how insane things got. And no, I don't think Lucasfilm sponsored this article, but it was retweeted and supported by Lucasfilm executives like Pablo Hidalgo, the person I believe who was instrumental in the firing of Gina Carano. I have nothing to back that up. That is purely my speculation. Now, I've said it before on my channel, I wasn't into Star Wars that much to begin with. I was pretty much out with The Last Jedi. I was chronicling its demise leading up to the rise of Skywalker. I only briefly checked into The Mandalorian because it did look like for a moment they were trying to turn things around, and I liked the cut of Gina Carano's jib. But they fired her, and that was it for me. And I said so. And you may or may not have noticed that I haven't reviewed a single episode of anything from Disney Plus, because when I said I stand with Gina Carano, I meant it. And it goes beyond Gina Carano. When they fired her, they sent a message to all of her fans and supporters. And that was simply it for me. And I'm not trying to make myself sound like I'm better than anybody else. If you want to cover this series for your channel, by all means do it. If people are enjoying this show, by all means enjoy it. I would never, ever shame you for that, and I haven't. It's simply just apathy. I don't care enough to praise it. I don't care enough to criticize it. I will still cover the news because in most cases, it's far more interesting than what they put on Disney Plus or potentially put on the silver screen if they ever do that again. I believe the Book of Boba Fett is just a filler series, and I think there was a lot of truth to the rumors with Pedro Pascal, him being a problem on the set. Otherwise, why would you take your most popular show and put it on essentially a 2-year hiatus? When it comes to what has gone on in the Star Wars fandom, there is only one organization to blame for that, and that is Disney Star Wars. The fans simply reacted, and I believe a lot of them are just out like me, and what's left is what Disney Star Wars has cultivated. And I've heard some people say that you can't blame Lucasfilm for this type of fan, and I would argue you can. I give you one fangirl Jean, who I like to call activist girl Jean, who I believe, based on what I've heard, gives a pretty good description of the Book of Boba Fett. Claiming Boba Fett is culturally white, despite him being played by an indigenous man of color, is the exact kind of racist fuckery fans of color have to deal with in the Star Wars fandom on a daily basis. White supremacy is a hell of a drug. Wow, she sounds fun. Now, no one on this planet is saying that Boba Fett is culturally white, or I'll use their language, coded white, although originally he was played by a white actor, Jeremy Bulloch. A quick aside, the triumphant return of Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian aired December 18th, 2020. At the end of that episode, there was a stinger for the Book of Boba Fett. Jeremy Bulloch died on December 17th. And guess what? Disney Star Wars didn't acknowledge the original Boba Fett's death on the day they announced a Boba Fett series. That is Disney Star Wars. I continue with Activist Girl. If you can't tell the difference between respectful cultural exchange between BIPOC from an indigenous perspective in particular and the white savior trope, you're not qualified to use the term. Go sit down and let the qualified people tackle this. And in quotes, but it all had the hallmarks of a white savior story. Yes, you're so close, yet you missed it by a mile. It does have them because it's subverting them. The power dynamic is balanced. Respect is shown to the culture. The outsider isn't superior to the natives. No white people. Subscribe to Disney Plus and watch the shifting of power balances in Star Wars. Wow, that sounds fun. Now, Activist Girl is going to be Activist Girl, but she isn't the reason the problem exists. She is a symptom of the problem, something Disney invited in by playing to the identity politics crowd, by introducing identity politics and intersectional feminism into Star Wars, which hasn't been inherently political. There is some allegorical stuff, but it's basically a sci-fi fantasy. Good versus evil, the hero's journey, stories Hollywood isn't really that interested in telling anymore because that wouldn't be equitable. And that's why I just don't care about Star Wars at this point. Until they have some massive failures, I don't think anything's going to change. And in the meantime, I'll be covering something else. But again, if you want to cover it, that's fine. I have no problem with it. And I'm not the kind of person who makes videos shaming people for liking something. Although plenty of people will make videos about yours truly or Jeremy not liking something, which again is perfectly fine. But I would just like to point out the people making those videos, the vast majority of them cannot make a video telling you why they love the thing that we thoroughly dislike. Well, I'd also like to point out that yours truly, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, and others aren't covering this series yet, and I'll use their terminology. The toxicity remains. Maybe it's time to start thinking about what has really ruined fandom: activism. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.